Alright, g'day. So we're in the middle of the desert between Halls Creek and Fitzroy's Crossing. Time to talk about top 10 things you need when caravanning, travelling around Australia. Got a bit of time, 200 k's to Fitzroy's Crossing, so let's get into it. Alright, number one, you need to know your weights. ATM, GVM, all of those things combined. You need to understand how much your van is going to weigh. If you've got a brand new van, you need to use it a couple of times and then take it to a weigh bridge. We didn't realise water in pipes and all those things that chews up a whole bunch of your available payload. So you need to do at least a test run with a brand new van where you've used the water and stuff, and then go to a weigh bridge, and then do all the maths and figure out how much you can actually take with you. And then if you haven't got enough space, have a look into GVM upgrades of either your car and or the van. Some new vans and some new cars, you can actually upgrade them for not too much extra cost. So number one, weights.
Number two is water. Seems obvious, but water doesn't go as far as you think it would. So we average 100 litres across maybe 3 days. That is with our 20-second showers, where you're 10 seconds on to wet yourself, turn it off, sod yourself up, 10 seconds to rinse it off. We find it goes further if you're near a fresh water source that you can use for maybe a bit of cooking, doing bucket baths for the kids. Definitely when we're off grid, if we don't have a local freshwater source, we don't do any clothes washing because it just chews through that water. We also carry an extra 20 litre water in the tray just as a backup in case of an emergency of some sort, but it's definitely something that we underestimated how much water we'd need, so that's something that we thought was good to have as number two on our list.
Alright, number three, that's a good fridge. So one that at least runs on gas. It needs to be able to run while you're off the grid. There's a couple of different versions. We got a gas one, so that's pretty good. Just got to be mindful that between the wall of the caravan and the fridge itself is only quite thin, and it's not that insulated. So when you're at a camp, you need to put a cover over that, especially in direct sunlight. Also, when you're traveling, if you're going to stop and see something, turn that gas on so the fridge can run, even if it's doing a little bit, so it doesn't defrost while you're trudging through a canyon. So check that out.
Number four on our list is tools. We have gone with 5: a handsaw, hammer, axe, screwdriver, and a recovery shovel, or just a standard like a shovel. We've found that the most important one for us has been the saw. It makes it so much easier to collect firewood, and in turn saves you money because you're using fire as your fuel. We started with heaps and ended up offloading a heap because it just was adding weight and not getting used. So tools important, but top one is our handsaw.
So number five is an inverter. We got a 600 watt inverter. That's good for a fair few things, but we mainly use it for the laptop for schoolwork. That needs to be charged. It can't be charged off a 12 volt, but the inverter plugs into the 12 volt, enables us to charge those devices that need a power point. We also sometimes use it for other devices, such as a Nintendo, in case you need to play video games in the desert, just the same. But mainly for schoolwork.
Number six is washboard and buckets.
Oh, my favourite.
We tend to use the flexi tubs because we find them multi-useful in the tray. So when we're not using them for washing, if you've got excess rubbish or something, we can chuck them in a flexi tub, keeps it in a bit of an orderly fashion. The washboard's been very valuable. It is very labour intensive, but hey, when you've got a bit of time and a bit of space, why not?
Alrighty, number seven. Keep your hands on the wheel. No, number seven is a billy. Don't buy one from BCF. I've had two from there. They've been disappointing. As disappointing as a billy can be, like lid breaks, rusts. Find yourself a good billy. Very handy for boiling water, bucket baths, cooking pasta in, cooking noodles in. yourself a billy. It's pretty straightforward. You'll find things to use it for. Alright, number 8, hoses and grey water. So the grey water tank's been very important. Sometimes when you're off grid, there's no opportunity to dump some of that water, or it's just not, I don't know, it's just not nice. So being able to store that water is very important. We got 1 to 100 litres. That lasts us about 3 days worth of water that we can store, and then you know, when you get to a dump point, you can drop it off, or even just find somewhere to let that go that's not going to hurt the environment.
Some camps require you to hold your grey water too.
Yeah. The other one is hoses. So not all hoses are created equal. We noticed, we went through a few different types of hoses until we realised that the ones with the metal clip that go into the connection point, they're way better than the screw-on ones. The screw-on ones burst all the time, different tap pressures in multiple places. So get a decent hose. Metal clip ones are great. And then you need a couple of different adapters. So just buy a couple of extra bits. One that changes the size of the hose that you can attach to, to the tap that you can attach to is very important. Maybe a double adapter if you've got a second hose. We were surprised that we needed those things more than we'd expected. So yeah, get some good hoses.
So number 9 on our list is wipes. We just use the cheap baby wipes. They help you to save water because you can use them for many things, like kids cleaning their hands, wiping down tables. I usually have a packet in the car and a packet in the van, and they come in super handy. So that's number 9 on our list is wipes.
Alright, last one on the list. Last one on the list, number 10. USB 12 volt gadgets. So I'm going to try and jam in a few here. You need the adapter, cigarette lighter adapter, 12 volt adapter, usually with the 2 USB plugs is really handy. You want a rechargeable torch. Do not buy one that requires batteries. That is nothing but a heartache. Rechargeable torch, you can charge off the solar in your Caravan. The other one is a 12 volt fan. So we went with the Lion Hurricane fan, and it's amazing while being super quiet and not taking much energy. So at least get at least one of those. When I see them again, I'm getting another 2. Good for those hot nights in the desert. Yeah, that's our top 10. Hope you found it useful. Like and subscribe.